Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another Pete's Picks, where I show some of the new items that I've recently bought or bought over the last few months, or even one or two items that I might have just pulled out of the shelves behind me to play this week. As you'll all be well aware, it was RSD Day, RSD Drop 2, a week and a half ago. I didn't do it. I haven't since the pandemic started. It's not worth the risk going across to Newcastle on the train. So what I did is what I did last time. I went online on Sunday and I managed to find just about everything I wanted. Anything else, I'll see if it turns up in the future. So let's start with the 4 items that I've got, and we'll start with that band famous for their singles, the mighty Magma, with the album Simples. When I said album, 10-inch, and it features 5 tracks from 3 singles that they put out. That's the front, there's the back, and it's on the Music on Vinyl label. This, like I say, features 5 tracks. Hamtak Tendai Kobar, both recorded in 1971. Klaus Kombalad and Mechanic Commando, recorded in 72, and Mechanic Machine from 74. I don't know why the record company thought that Magma were going to have a hit single. Maybe it was just to have something to play on the radio to promote them. Not listened to this yet, it just came in, but it's Magma and it's a must. Which brought to mind this, I said they're not a singles band, but they put out this single. This was, I picked up when they played Manchester a few years back, and there were 2 tracks here recorded in 1998. So they were still putting singles out at this point. Excellent. So that was my first Record Store Day purchase. The second is probably one that a lot of people will be getting and showing, and this is Miles Davis Champions Rare Miles from the Complete Jack Johnson Sessions. This is the Jack Johnson album. Comes on, sorry, on lovely yellow vinyl. The Jack Johnson album is probably my favourite album of his after In a Silent Way. Last year I think they did a Record Store release from the In a Silent Way sessions. This time it was from the Complete Jack Johnson Sessions. I've got the box set when it came out in those metal boxes, but this is brilliant stuff. That's probably, like I say, most people will have probably picked that one up. Next up is a favourite band of mine. Been into them for ages, from way back in the early 2000s or whatever. And this is Carlton Melton with their album EP, I think it's classed as an EP, Night Pillars. Now they're an American psych rock band, free rock band, a trio. Like I say, I've got most of their stuff. They're purely instrumental. This is excellent, like I say, free. This is quite meditative in style, quite low key. But the highlight is the last track on side 1, which is called High Noon 30, which introduces synths as well as drums that don't feature a lot on this album. But that is very Kosmischer. Could have come off a 1970s krautrock album. Excellent stuff. The only problem with this is on the label it says it plays at 45 RPM. I was just about to put it on for the first time, and while I was logging it on Discogs, and it said on there it plays at 33 1/3. It can be difficult sometimes to tell with some instrumental music, especially the more experimental type. But if you don't know Carlton Melton, I'd highly recommend them. Next up, and the final one that I got for Record Store Day, is Tangerine Dream and their soundtrack for the motion picture The Heap, a horror film directed by Michael Mann. Excellent stuff. It was years before this ever came out. Prime Tangerine Dream soundtrack material. And that's all I got for Record Store Day. I had thought of getting another Tangerine Dream release because they've also brought out the Reims Cathedral concert as a double disc. But then I saw that it was a picture disc, and I'm not keen on picture discs. So I'm hoping that they'll re-release that sometime on proper black or coloured vinyl. And I was also tempted by the Hawkwind Greasy Truckers. I was going to say Glastonbury Fair. Greasy Truckers album. But last year I picked up a really good unofficial album with all of that material on it. I know I should still get the support the band and get the official release, which I think I probably will end up doing sometime. So that was Record Store Day this year for me, done and dusted. Right, next we feature a band I've been quite, I don't want to say obsessed with, but really been listening to a lot online before these became available, and that is Monoskin, the Italian band that won the Eurovision this year with the best song that ever appeared on the Eurovision Song Contest. This is their first album, Il Ballo della Vita, The Dance of Life, which came out originally in 2018. This is a recent issue over here. It's a really good album, some great stuff on here, though I don't think they'd found their feet properly, and there's one or two tracks where they're not that great and they're not in the style that really suits them. There's one that's like a ragga track, though it does feature excellent songs like New Song, Le Parole Lontane, Moriro da Re, and the absolutely brilliant Torno a Casa. So that's their first album. So I had to pick up as well their recent album from this year, Teatro d'Ira Volume 1. That's, I think, the Theatre of Wrath. And this features Zitti e Buoni, the song that won the Eurovision. it features the superb Coraline, such a sad song. I Want to Be Your Slave, which I think is in the charts at the moment. Absolutely brilliant, For Your Love, and the superb Ventani. This, I think, is where they're really finding their feet as a rock band. I mean, Damiano's vocals are incredible. They're really great. And the band, the Victoria, the bassist, and is it Ethan, the drummer, are superb. And the guitarist, his solos are brilliant, but they're not overextended. They're there to suit the song. I'm impressed with them. The only thing is, if you don't like language of quite fruity language, might not be for you, but superb band. And as I said, the best thing that ever came out of Eurovision.
Può crescere, prendere le sue cose e poi partire, ma sente un mostro che la tiene in gabbia, che le ricopre la strada di mine. Detto a Coraline che può crescere, prendere le sue cose e poi partire, ma Coraline non vuole mangiare, no. Sì, Coraline vorrebbe sparire, e Coraline piange, Coraline ha ansia, Coraline vuole il mare ma paura dell'acqua, e forse il mare è dentro di lei. E ogni parola è un ascio, un taglio sulla piena, come una zattera che naviga in un fiume in piena, e forse il fiume è dentro di lei, di lei.
Next up is this album, Pink Floyd, live in Montreux, 1970. This is on the 1960s Records label. Now they can be a bit hit and miss. They've put out a whole slew of stuff. You can see from here, there's stuff by the Stones, Hendrix, the Animals, Yardbirds, Fleetwood Mac, the Byrds, Neil Young, the Faces, the Who, Donovan, the Move. But as I said, you've got to be careful. They're all, I think, radio broadcasts, which can be really good or can be a bit iffy. This one is actually very good. It was recorded obviously by Swiss Radio, and you get tracks like Astronomy Domine, Fat Old Sun, Cymbeline, Embryo, Green is the Colour, Careful with That Axe Eugene, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, Saucer Full of Secrets, and Just Another 12 Bar. For my mind, between 68 and 72, say, was the heyday of Floyd. They were a superb live band. They were at their most experimental and avant-garde. And I wish that they'd really go to town and issue a lot of their live stuff from that period, officially. But I would recommend this release. Next up is one I've picked up recently on VinylNet, and that is the first album by the band Soft Heap. Now, if you don't know Soft Heap, you can probably guess that they are an offshoot in some ways of Soft Machine. This album's from 1979 on the Charlie Records label. Soft Heap were Elton Dean on saxes, Alan Gowan on piano and synths, Hugh Hopper on bass, and Pip Pyle on drums. The soft in the name obviously comes from Soft Machine. The Heap comes from their name. So you get H for Hopper, E for Elton Dean, A for Alan Gowan, and P for Pip Pile, the great Pip Pile on drums. Before this was released, there was a live album where they were under the name of Softhead, because at that point Pip Pile wasn't in the band, and they had, was it Dave Sheen, I think, on drums, so the D replaced the P. After this, the lineup changed. I think Alan Gowan and Hugh Hopper eventually left, but they continued on with new members, continuing to use the Soft Heap name. There's only been a couple of releases since. In the 90s, there was a CD with a new lineup recorded in France. And then in the 2000s, there was another CD came out with a 1978 live show by this band. You know what you're going to get. This is jazz rock, jazz fusion, but more towards the jazz end than, say, even Soft Machine got. With Elton on there, you're going to get quite a bit of maybe free jazz thrown in. But this is excellent music. Right, and the last bit of vinyl I'm to show is a newish prog band that go under the name of Granfo, and their album Sum of Erda. Now, Granfo are a band from, I think, Norwich. They've been around for at least 8 or 9 years. And if you go on Bandcamp, they've released, seems like dozens of live shows and rehearsal sessions. But this is their first, I think, proper studio album, which came, I think, out this year. It's on the, I think, it's Norwegian label Apollon Prog. Show you the label in this lovely green vinyl. They're an excellent young prog band. They're a mixture of fusion and prog, which obviously gives that sort of Canterbury flavour. Totally instrumental, by the way. I would highly recommend these to anybody who likes sort of classic prog fusion. And likes the Canterbury scene as well. So please check them out. And I just realised I hadn't shown any Scandinavian prog this time. Can't be having that. I'll be chucked out of the Scandi prog club that we're forming. So this is for Richard, the vinylising progger, and for John Bellamy, those two particularly, who seem to be heavily into their Scandi prog at the moment. These aren't, this isn't vinyl, CDs. I might have shown this before, but this is an excellent set, 3 CD set on it, esoteric, called Living on the Hill, a Danish underground trip, 1967 to 74. Some excellent sort of psych, proto-prog and full-on prog on here from bands like Day of Phoenix, Savage Rose, Burning Red, Ivanhoe, Culpeper's Orchard, and Secret Oyster. Like all the esoteric and grapefruit box sets, it comes in 3 nice little jackets and with a lovely little booklet with all the info. So if you're into your Danish prog and proto-prog, highly recommended. That came out last year, I think. Back in 2007, this was released. This is The Essence of Swedish Progressive Music, 1967 to 1979. Pregnant Rainbows for Colorblind Dreamers. What a title. And as with the Danish one, what you get is a mixture of sort of psych, proto-prog and prog. Comes in with a lovely booklet detailing all the tracks. And you get on here music by bands like Abet and Fritid, Mecky Mark Men, International Harvester, Bjorn Jason Lind, Bo Hansen, Kebner Kaiser, Made in Sweden, Janne Schaffer, Samla Manus Manna, Tradgarsok Stena, and a lot more. 4 CDs worth of superb music. So this came out in 2007, and it accompanied or was accompanied by this book, The Encyclopedia of Swedish Progressive Music, 67 to 79, From Psychedelic Experiments to Political Propaganda. Excellent book on the scene. Details, I think it's 400 different bands with their discographies throughout the period. Essential for anybody who wants to get into the scene. And it came with a bonus CD, with the CD by the Baby Grandmothers, Turn On, Tune In, Drop Out. It's a half an hour live CD from 67. I think the CD alone is worth more than the book is nowadays. This might be difficult to pick up. I don't think this is available anymore. But if you could find a second-hand copy anywhere, it's worth it if you're into your Scandi prog. So that's it. Hope you saw something there that you liked. Sunday, I'll be going to the Windermere Record Fair. It's been run Saturday and Sunday. We thought we'd go on the Sunday, as the guy from across the border will hopefully be there on the Sundays. He can't do Saturdays because his shop's open. So I hope to be able to do a video after that showing lots of great stuff that I've managed to pick up. Hope so. Hope you've all been enjoying the weather. It's starting to break here, I think, in Cumbria. They're threatening us with thunderstorms. I hope not. I hope anybody that's down in London that's been suffering with the flooding, I hope everybody's okay. Anyway, take care everybody. Hopefully see you soon. All the best.